Hi boys and girls, welcome to Cumberland at Home Summer Edition. My name is Mrs. Driggers and I teach first grade. I am so excited to do these activities with you. Let's get started. Okay boys and girls, before we begin our activity Flip Over 7, let's review some of the skills that we have been practicing this week in math. This week, we have been working on composing and decomposing the number 10. Remember, when you compose something, you are combining together. You are joining two parts or two add-ins together to make a sum or a total. When you decompose, you are separating. You're starting with the whole, and you are separating into parts. So right now, I have a whole of 10. I know that because I have one eraser in every square on my 10 frame. If I were to decompose, I'm breaking apart my 10 into two parts. So if I were to decompose this whole number of 10, I'm going to use the colors of these erasers. I would take the 3 blue erasers apart, and I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orange erasers. Okay, so I started with 10 and I decomposed it into two parts, and I have 3 and 7. Right? So if I take my two parts and I compose them, I add them together, I would have 3 plus 7 equals 10. Okay, so we worked on that. We've also this week been looking at number sense. We've been looking at what numbers mean, what their relationships are to one another, and how to represent those numbers and order them from least to greatest. And also, yesterday we were really working on comparing those numbers and looking at their values and deciding whether or not they were the values of those numbers were greater than or less than. So today, to begin on our fluency of addition and subtraction within 20, we're going to really focus on strengthening our fluency when it comes to adding and subtracting within the whole number of 10. Okay, so today you're going to need your deck of cards from your learning kit. And if you have your 10 pennies, go ahead and grab them. And if you have any other items that might be able to be used, very similar to pennies, like right now Mrs. Driggers is using erasers, you might have different kinds of coins. You might have nickels or dimes or even quarters. Maybe you have some little Lego pieces. But if you can, and you have different materials at home that you can use, this would be really helpful for our activity today. All right, and then Mrs. Driggers is also going to keep up here in our video my 10 frame, just to kind of show you the different ways and combinations of making 10. So earlier this week, we talked about all the different combinations of numbers that can make 10. Okay, so let's think, like I just said when we began, we have 3 blue erasers and 7 orange erasers. And I know that when I'm combining these two parts together to make 10, I can write my equation 3 plus 7 equals 10. I can also flip around my 10 frame and start that equation with 7 plus 3 equals 10. Okay, it doesn't matter the order of my add-ins because they are going to equal the same sum. Okay, that is called the commutative property. Okay, when you know that 7 plus 3 equals 10, then you also will know that 3 plus 7 equals 10. Sometimes we call that like the flip-flops, right? It doesn't matter the order of our two parts. When you combine them or you join them together and add them, they are going to equal the same sum, the same total. Today, I want us to talk a little bit before we get started with our activity. I want to review the associative property. Okay, this is when you can add numbers in any order, just like we just talked about in the commutative property, and you are going to always get the same sum. So if you notice, you have more than 2 add-ins in this equation. You actually have 3 add-ins, 3 plus 2 plus 1. And when you have an associative, when you use the associative property, you're looking for some of those relationships within numbers to help you build that math fluency, build your number sense fluency, and you're going to be adding these different parts. You're going to be adding them together in 2 steps. So for example, if I had 3 plus 2 plus 1, I'm going to start by joining my 3 and 2 together to make 5, and then just like we've been doing this week, 1 more than 5 equals 6. Or, because it says you can add any numbers in any order and you're going to get the same sum. Instead of starting with 3, you start with 2 plus 1, because mental math, you're going to know that 1 more than 2 is 3, but now you're not finished because you have to add this 3 here. 3 plus 3 equals 6. So the reason why I wanted to review that is because when we play our activity today, flip over 7, we want to show and demonstrate our understanding of making the number 10 by adding up different numbers together. Now, earlier this week, we were adding just 2 numbers together, different combinations that equal 10. What we're going to be able to do today in this activity is I'm going to show you, you might have a 3 and a 7 and that might make 10, but you also might have a 5 and a 2 and a 3, which when you put them together is going to make 10. So you might actually have 3 different add-ins, 3 different numbers in your equation that are going to help you get to that sum of 10. All right, so let's get started with the activity flip over 7. Okay, today you are going to demonstrate fluency for addition within 10. You're going to start with your deck of cards from your learning kit. What you're going to do, if you're playing with more than one person, if you're playing with a partner, take turn on some of the roles and responsibilities in this game. If you're playing by yourself, that's okay. You'll be able to take on the responsibility of the different the different roles that are going to be needed to keep this game moving along. So let's look at the directions. I'm going to make sure that I have the numbers in my deck, the ace, which represents 1, all the way up to the number 10. So don't have any of your face cards in there, no kings, queens, or jacks. All right. Okay, begin by dealing out 7 cards face up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to remove all of the 10s or any cards that you can combine or join together that are going to make 10. All right? So right away I see 10, 10, and a 10. Okay? 10, you don't have to add anything to 10 to make 10 because it is 10. So 10 and 0 make 10. So I'm going to take these 3 cards away. And I'm going to take the remaining cards from the deck and I'm going to replace them. I took 3 away, so I'm going to replace those 3 with 3 new cards. All right. I don't see any 10s, but I can start to look at the individual cards in this row to see that if I combine them or join them together, will they make 10? So for example, and I'm going to use my 10 frame to help us. All right. So right away, my eye catches the 9. Okay. So I know that 9 is 1 less than 10. So I know that I need to add 1 to my 9 to make 10. And just to double check my thinking, let me build it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 1 make 10. And I have my 1 or my ace right here. So I know that 9 and 1 make 10. So I'll take the 1 and the 9 and I'll put them over here. Now I took 2 cards away because they made 10. And I will replace those 2 cards. You want to make sure you're always having 7 cards flipped up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'll clear my 10 frame. All right, and I'm going to start with the 6 right here. Okay, I might build 6 on my 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And looking at my 10 frame, I know I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 4 to be able to make 10. Okay, so I have a 6. I'm going to look and see if I have a 4. And I do right here. So I know I can make another 10 using the numbers 6 and 4. Okay. I just removed 2 cards from my 7, so I'm going to add 2 more. All right. Clear my 10 frame off. Now, right away, my eyes got caught to the number 2 and 3. Because in my brain, I know that when you combine 2 plus 3, it's going to make 5. So I'm going to build 2, and I'm going to build 3, and I'm going to make my 5. Now, how many more do I need to add to this total of 5 to make 10? Well, I see 5 empty squares on my 10 frame, or I see a completely empty row of my 10 frame. So I know I need to combine 5 more. I need to add 5 more to my 5 to make 10. But this time I used 3 different numbers. I used 2, 3, and 5. I can use the associative property to help me make 10. I first take 2 and 3, and when I combine or join 2 plus 3, it makes and gives me 5. Then I take my 5 and I add 5 more to it to make 10. I replaced the 3 cards that I took away when making 10 using 2, 3, and 5, and I cleared off my 10 frame. As I look at these cards, I'm starting to see a lot of the same numbers, but I'm getting a little bit confused because I'm seeing similar cards and I'm seeing similar colors. So to help me organize my thoughts and help me to think about the numbers and their relationships, I want to arrange these cards in an order that will help me look for different numbers that I know make other numbers that when put together will make 10. So I want to start with my lowest number, my lowest value, and build it to my highest value, my greatest value. So I know 8 and 7 are going to be more in this area. And I want to start with 1. I have 2. 7 and 8. All right. So even though these numbers are not in consecutive order like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are in order from the least to the greatest. All right? So when I look now, I know that when I start with 8, what I start to think about, okay, 8 is really close to 10. So what do I need to add to 8 to make 10? So I might start with 8 because it is the larger number and the number that is closest to 10. And I'll build 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I know I still need 1, 2. I need to add 2 more to 8 to make 10. And do I have a 2? Absolutely I do. So I'm going to add 2 more. And I know that 8 and 2 make 10. All right. Replace those cards, making sure I always have 7 cards flipped up. Now, I want to give myself a challenge, okay? So, I just noticed also, because I saw 2 right here in the middle, and I know that 2 comes after 1 and before 4. Well, really before 3, but I don't have a 3. And I know that 5 is 1 more than 4. Okay. Now I want to challenge myself to see if I can add more than 2 numbers together to make 10. Okay? So the first number that pops out to me is the 5. because I know that there's 5 in a row in each row of my 10 frame, okay? So to kind of ease into this challenge, I'm going to start by building 5 on the top row of my 10 frame. And then I have to think about what numbers can I join together to make 5. I have 1, 1, 2, 4, 7, 7. So I know 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's not enough, but I have a 4, so I can add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need to add 1 more to make 5. So 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4 plus 1 make 10. All right. And just like we learned about, I should say we reviewed with our associative properties, I don't have to start with 5 and 4. I know that 1 more than 4 makes 5. 1 more than 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then mental math, I know that 5 and 5 make 10. All right? So boys and girls, as you continue to strengthen and demonstrate your fluency for addition of different numbers that make 10, have a little fun with this. Challenge yourself, okay? Even if you don't have a 10 frame, that's absolutely okay. Even if you might need to continue to strengthen your mental math, which is knowing your addition facts quickly without having to build a model, that's okay, right? Sometimes trial and error, meaning that if I couldn't quite remember that 4 and 1 make 5, and I thought to myself, well, maybe it's 5, 4, and 2. Well, when I build that second number right here, I'll know that I don't have a spot for that, so that's not going to work. So it can't be 2, but if I took it away, I know 1 less than 2 is 1, right? So this is an opportunity for you. It's to focus more on the process of combining these different numbers and building these numbers with different manipulatives and different models, because it's really going to, just like a muscle, it's going to strengthen your math fluency, right? You're going to start to see patterns when combining numbers together. You're going to start to remember that 2 and 3 make 5 without having to build 2 and 3 to make 5. Okay, so this is like, think about like if you were going to the gym or you were going to play soccer, right? You have to practice, you have to get stronger before it just becomes natural. So have some fun with this today, and I'm really excited that you will be kind of stretching that muscle and getting it stronger, and just like Mrs. Driggers, when I stretch my muscles, my brain, right, sometimes it feels a little uncomfortable. But when you're finished and you're like, oh yeah, that 1 and 9 make 10, or 2, 3, and 5 make 10, right? You're gonna feel that feeling of knowing that you're getting stronger and all that hard work is worth it. So have some fun with it, and I had a fantastic week with you, and I can't wait to be with you again next week. So I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.